half a turn, and then it should just pop right out. If we need to get to the passenger side plugs with that box right on out of the way. All right, y'all, I'm not sure if you can tell, but we got a driver's side headlight out on this truck, and it's actually technically the low beam, even though the low beams sit on top of the high beams. I thought that was kind of interesting. But anyhow, I got the hood popped on both the diesel and the gas trucks here to try and make this video as comprehensive as possible for either side on either truck for these 07 to 13 Silverados, and that's just in an effort to make it as helpful as we possibly can. Now, the method we're going to be using today is trying to get the bulbs out without actually pulling the whole housing out. You can do that by getting out the grill, and we might talk about that a little later on. And as far as parts and tools, all we're going to need is a replacement bulb. I went with a cheap one replacement bulb just to get that one replaced. But if you wanted, you could upgrade both headlights while we're at it. So I'll leave links in the description below for either option. I went with the cheaper route. We'll also want a set of rubber gloves so that way the oil from our hands doesn't contaminate the bulb. And you might need a handful more tools depending on which side and which truck you're talking about, but we're going to go ahead and show you all of them, so we'll be adding tools as needed. Fortunately though, it appears for the bulb we actually have to change. We'll start with the driver's side on these trucks, and it looks like we can get to it. I'm not sure if you can see it in there, but there's the low beam and the high beams down below that. By sliding our hand behind the windshield fluid here, and then we'll give it a half a turn to the left. If you can see it in there, I'm not sure. Half a turn, and then it should just pop right out. Yep. And that was almost too easy. So let's go take a look at this other truck. In case you got a battery right in the way, you will actually have to remove the battery, and it's actually a pretty simple process. We'll want to start with the negative lead and loosen up this 10mm here. And once we loosen the 10mm on the lead, you should be able to wiggle the cable and get it off, and it'll be the same thing on this. Is actually an aftermarket lead. But anyhow, so you will need to remove the battery if you have a battery right in the way, but otherwise that driver's side is really easy to get to. Let's go ahead and replace this, and then we'll talk about the passenger side. All right, I pulled us under the tree shop here so you can get a little better light, or a little more even lighting anyhow. And now to unplug this guy, it looks like it's got two tabs, one on each side, that need to be popped off. Need something to stand on. I retract my previous statement. We're going to need a flathead for this. All right, so we'll just pop each side off, it looks like. Yeah. That side appears to be off. That side appears to be off. And look at that. It just unplugs right away once you get both those clips out. And here's where it's important we got our gloves on so we don't damage the bulb in any way. Contaminate it, rather, with our filthy human hands. But I'm assuming it'll just plug right in. I'm trying to leave it where you can see, but it's kind of tough. And it looks like it'll only clip one way, so that's good. Alright. Now we'll just close those two little tabs, and maybe I'll go test it real quick, make sure it works. Did it work? Y'all are gonna have to tell me later. All right, so we're gonna go in this little hole past the windshield wiper fluid, and then come up in here somehow. All right, so now we just gotta kind of find that sweet spot where it sits in there good. There it is. That looks like the sweet spot. And then we'll give her a half turn back to the right clockwise to lock it in. Boom. And that's done. That was easy. Let's talk about the passenger side. Looks like this air box will be in the way of getting to these bulbs down here. No way to get your hand in there. So it looks like there's two options to disconnect this air box. We could do it all the way out here, or if we disconnect it here, we'd have to unplug this mass airflow sensor. And I figure I can get a close-up of how to remove this. You just push down on the tab there until it clicks off, and then as you pull off, it'll unhook there. You have to unplug this mass airflow sensor and just loosen it there. Looks like either way would work. I think it might be a little easier this way, so I'm gonna just do it this way. And do me a quick favor, if you're finding this video helpful so far, do me a quick favor and give the video a thumbs up, you know, because we already got that other side done. I'm just kind of doing this to see if I can't help y'all out, maybe. But yeah, look at there. That airbox came out easy. Now, as you can see, if we need to get to the passenger side plugs with that box right on out of the way, we could just reach our hand in here and get directly to them. So that answers that. Easy peasy. Let me show you here. Boom. And it'd be the same deal for the high beams down below there. And there's two little push pins that our airbox will just pop right back into. Nothing really holding it down other than that. it goes. You'll feel it click kind of into place. And we'll slide our hose back on, our intake, tighten it down. Definitely important this goes all the way back on correctly. And get a good seal here. That way we're not sucking any trash into the motor. All right, that's on there, that's tight, that looks good. And I hope you can see, it just plugs right back in. Little guy about scared the bejeebus out of me, running under my foot. Get out of here, guy. Go. So that'd be how I'd replace either the driver's side or the passenger side headlight bulb, and I do it without removing the grill. Now, I know there's going to be somebody out there who just can't get their hand back under here this way to get it out, and unfortunately for you, man, that kind of sucks, because in order to get this, the only other way to do it that I'm aware of is to get the whole housing out. In order to do that, it's really not bad. It's only 3 10mm bolts holding it on, one here, and one down below. But unfortunately, to get it actually out of there, what you'd have to do is pop this radiator cover off with all these pop rivets going around, and then to get the grill out, there'll be 4 10mm bolts that hold the grill on, as well as these little clips on the bottom of the grill. I'm not sure if you can see one of them. Here's one. It kind of butterflies out behind there, so you'll need needle nose to pinch the back of that clip to pull the bottom of the grill out, and that'll give you full access to these 2 10mm bolts that hold it on up here to slide it forward. But there's a third bolt that you'll have to get to by removing this 10mm, a couple pop rivets, a 7mm there, and then you should be able to get back in there. Let's see if we can't show it, to the third and final 10mm holding that headlight housing on. And fortunately, you'll just have to loosen that. You don't have to completely remove it, and then you'll be able to slide the headlight housing out and have all the access in the bulbs of the world you want. So I really hope you found this how-to video on how to change the headlight bulbs on your Chevy Silverado helpful. And if you did, do me a quick favor and give the video a thumbs up. And as always, if I missed anything or you have any thoughts or suggestions on how to improve the videos, or really any comments on how to get these bulbs changed on a Silverado in general, please leave a comment in the section below. I'd love to hear from you. And that was beer number 138 on our way to finishing the Escape Power Sports 1,000 Beer Challenge. And on that 1,000 beers, I'm trying to do 1,000 beers worth of step-by-step high-quality how-to video content. So I'd encourage you to subscribe so you don't miss any of the rest of the maintenance videos we'll be doing in these Silverados over the course of those 1,000 beers. I'd also really like to thank the 900 or so guys who found some of the content on this channel and decided to subscribe. And until next time, I'd like to welcome you if you're new to the channel. I'm Danny with Escape Power Sports. I really want to thank y'all for watching. And as always, we'll see y'all on the trails. See y'all on the trails.